How does a 5'6" farm boy who sold oranges barefoot on the streets of a Mexican village end up on the Forbes billionaires list, escape from 2 prisons built specifically to hold him forever, allegedly bribe a sitting president of Mexico for $100 million, and die alone in a concrete box beneath the mountains of Colorado? His name was Joaquín Archibaldo Guzmán. The world called him El Chapo, Shorty, and on the night of July 11, 2015, at exactly 8:52 p.m., he walked into the shower of Mexico's most secure prison and vanished. He was born on April 4, 1957, in a village called La Tuna, a speck of dirt in the Sierra Madre Mountains of Sinaloa, the Mexican Golden Triangle. His father Emilio beat him so badly that he ran to his grandmother's house just to survive. He dropped out of school in the 3rd grade. To this day, he can barely read his own name. By 15, he was working the opium poppy fields. By 20, he was being mentored by his uncle Pedro Avalos Perez, the Lion of the Sierra, the original Mexican narco of narcos. By 1989, El Chapo had his own pipeline, and he did something nobody had ever done before. He dug a tunnel from Agua Prieta, Mexico, into a warehouse in Douglas, Arizona. The Mexican entrance hid beneath a pool table that lifted hydraulically when somebody turned a water spigot outside the house. Colombian suppliers gave him a new nickname, El Rapido, the fast one, because his cocaine reached Los Angeles before their planes had even flown home. He would go on to build at least 75 more tunnels under the United States border. Then came the day everything changed. May 24, 1993, Guadalajara Airport. A car full of hitmen from the Tijuana cartel, recruited from a San Diego street gang, surround a white Grand Marquis. They think El Chapo is inside. The man they kill with 14 bullets at close range is Cardinal Juan Jes Posadas Ocampo, Mexico's senior Catholic priest. El Chapo escapes on foot through the airport. 16 days later, Guatemala catches him. He goes to Mexican prison for life. But El Chapo does not understand the word prison. Inside Puente Grande, he ate steak off a menu. He had Viagra, prostitutes, cell phones. He ran his entire cartel from inside the walls. And on January 19, 2001, after paying off 78 prison officials, he simply walked out the front gate, hidden inside a laundry cart. The escape cost him $2.5 million. Mexico did not see him for the next 13 years. By 2009, Forbes magazine ranked him the 701st richest person on Earth, number 41 on the most powerful people in the world. One spot below the supreme leader of Iran. The DIA estimated his lifetime drug earnings at over $12 billion. He had 4 private jets, personal zoo with lions, tigers, panthers, and crocodiles, a diamond-encrusted pistol, a gold-plated AK-47, and a wife named Emma Coronel, who was 17 years old. When he married her on her 18th birthday. Then in 2014, they finally caught him again. They sent him to Altiplano, Mexico's Alcatraz, the most secure prison in the country. From a half-built house in a cornfield exactly 1 mile away, his engineers flew to Germany for 3 months of training on how to dig through a low water table. They built a tunnel 1.5 kilometers long, 1,700 meters of lead lighting, ventilation ducts, and a motorcycle bolted to steel rails like a tiny subway. The total cost, $5 million. On the night of July 11, 2015, the cameras showed El Chapo pacing his cell. He stepped behind the wall of his shower, the only camera blind spot, and he disappeared. For 191 days, the most wanted man on Earth was a ghost. Then came the strangest meeting in true crime history, deep in the Sierra Madre jungle. American actor Sean Penn and Mexican actress Kate del Castillo sat down to dinner with El Chapo. Over 7 hours, eating tacos and drinking tequila. He gave them the most arrogant quote of his entire life. I supply more heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine, and marijuana than anybody else in the world. I have a fleet of submarines, airplanes, trucks, and boats. That cell phone gave him away. On January 8, 2016, Mexican Marines stormed his safe house in Los Mochis. He escaped naked through a hatch under a bathtub into the city's sewer system, came up through a manhole, between an office depot and a chicken restaurant, carjacked 2 cars, and was finally arrested by federal police on the highway. He offered them money. They refused. He told them, "You are all going to die." His Brooklyn trial in 2019 broke American history. Witnesses testified that he personally beat 2 members of the Zetas cartel with a tree branch until, quote, their bones were totally broken and they were like rag dolls. Then shot them at a bonfire, screaming, "I do not want any bones to remain." Another witness testified that he buried a rival cartel member alive while the man was still gasping for air. The jury convicted him on all 10 counts, life, plus 30 years, plus $12.6 billion in forfeiture. Today he sits in Adex, Florence, the Alcatraz of the Rockies. A 7 by 12-foot concrete cell, concrete bed, concrete stool, a 4-inch window onto a Colorado sky he will never touch again. 23 hours a day, alone. His mother died in 2023, never allowed to see him one last time. His wife walked Milan Fashion Week the next year in a white bridal gown. The man who tunneled out of 2 prisons is finally buried in the one place no tunnel can ever reach. And this time, the only way out is in a body bag.